a second.
Oh,
I got nothing.
It didn't even show us the thumbnail. But...
Yeah, it didn't. It just went right to it. Didn't even let us fill in a title or anything. And we are like, yeah, we're like 10 minutes early, but we will just wait.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get in the camera with you.
Ah, there we go.
Did it show up for you?
Yep.
You want to use your phone for comments? Or?
I feel like we can see the comments pretty good on the laptop.
Right.
God, and this one, Lauren's left arm is off.
I know. They're gonna call us out for that dang CGI again. This can't be real. One of his arms is on the wrong side. Hello.
Greetings from Germany. Greetings from Montana in the U.S. of A. Montana. I thought we were getting wedding ring tattoos.
We are.
Well, you already dotted your.
This is the wedding ring cam, baby.
Is that mirror image too?
In my mind. Hello, 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 hello.
We're gonna let people kind of fill in because we went live just a little bit early because we were trying to figure out, we didn't have it on the laptop and it just was a little weird. So we're gonna let people fill in over the next 10 minutes before we really get started.
I love the clarity though.
Yeah.
Is it just me or?
No, it's better than I expected it to be.
You should always do this from the hospital.
No, I'm talking about how good
From
it
the
looks from the tablet compared to my phone.
Yeah.
West Cornwall, UK. Sunny day just for you guys. Hey, hi from the Netherlands. We're at the Netherlands, Xenia. We got Sabia's father here from the Netherlands. Where are you from?
Amersfoort.
Amersfoort? Was it like fort, like barricaded?
Originally, Fort.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was just making sure.
No.
Fudgesicle.
Wales.
Guys all the way from sunny Pembrokeshire and Wales, UK.
Limburg.
Pembrokeshire, is that what it said?
Pembrokeshire. Texas, Colorado, Connecticut, Chicago.
Can you hand me my water?
Barnfield, Germany. Maine. Gosh, you guys are just all over the place. Boston. MA, is that Massachusetts?
I don't know.
I think that's Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Cambodia, Cali, Pembrokeshire.
Kyrgyzstan. That's Russia, isn't it?
I don't know. My geography is really bad.
Yeah, I mean it's its own country, but.
Oh, Kyrgyzstan is?
MA is Massachusetts. ME is Maine.
Moscow.
My geography sucks. I was educated in America, so.
From Ukraine, how are you doing? We are doing pretty good.
Denmark, Switzerland, France.
MA is Massachusetts. ME is Maine.
At least I got that one right. Las Vegas, Virginia, Michigan.
So, if you guys are wondering why we are in a hospital, you may not have come across our Facebook posts that we have made in the past couple weeks or so, but I'm in the hospital getting ready to go into surgery tomorrow. Finally, after I think
Like
it's
a year.
10 months.
Yeah.
10 months it's been of me dealing with 2 kidney stones in my
I
left
thought it was
kidney.
3 kidney stones.
There's a 3rd kidney stone forming in my right
okay.
kidney. So, might have another kidney stone in the future to face down again. But
Hopefully that one we can just zap though.
yeah, the reason why I have to do surgery for these 2 kidney stones is because they're behind my spine. So they can't just zap them and break them down. They gotta try and push them through, which they stuck a line all the way through my ileostomy and ureter from my kidney to try and push the stones through. And tomorrow, if they can't push them through, they're gonna go in surgically and remove them. I don't know what all that exactly entails. I
It
don't
was
know.
explained to us, but pretty much they're gonna get rid of the kidney stones.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm gonna end up with another hole in my body or another gash or what.
Yeah, what
We'll see what happens.
all it extends to. But from what I gathered is the first try is that they're going to go in through the nephrostomy tube, break down the kidney stones, and then try to push them out
Through the front, yeah.
through the front,
They're gonna
because
go in
he
the
has
back
like a
and go up
stint
to the
going
front.
through that's connected, that comes out of his ileostomy. And so to my knowledge that's what they're gonna try to do. But it was explained in big boy doctor terms. So our chat disappeared. There we go. But yeah, so that hopefully will all go well. There's obviously risks with it, as with any procedure.
Right.
As it stands, the highest risk with this one is if something goes wrong, it could risk Lauren needing a permanent nephrostomy tube for the rest of his life.
Or just a complete change to my
System.
peeing system,
Yeah.
of how I excrete.
But it's like with any procedure, there's always a risk of something. So, that's where that is at.
Mhm.
And then,
The whole reason why surgery is even happening, though, if you guys weren't here, don't remember, I was scheduled for the 7th of the beginning of this month.
last month we're in May now.
Oh my god. really?
Yeah.
Well, I was scheduled for the 7th of last month to have my kidney stones removed, but I unluckily came down with a bout of C. diff, and if you have any sort of infection, they can't do surgery on you. And then after the C. diff happened, I immediately came down with a kidney infection, which also might have started up my C. diff at the same time, because by the time I came into the ER, I was already experiencing sepsis and kidney infection
Yes. You didn't have.
and absolutely bone-breaking pain.
So for the sepsis thing, let me clear that up before LAD Bible goes and posts another, oh my gosh, he was dying from sepsis, because y'all love to do that. When he was admitted, he had what could have become sepsis. So it was like the super early beginning stages of it. It wasn't quite sepsis, but if it was left untreated, it would have become sepsis. So like it wasn't as scary as like, oh my god, he has sepsis. It was just, okay, if this one had been treated, it would have become sepsis. Just wanted to clear that up a little bit so that I didn't
Because
wake
I
up
had
tomorrow.
the beginning stages of sepsis.
What could have become sepsis? The beginning stages of sepsis.
I get
Yeah.
what you're saying.
But yeah, was admitted because of a kidney stone and stuff going on with his internal organ stuff. And then because he got admitted, it's a bit easier for them to get him into IR and then into surgery when it's inpatient versus outpatient. So we were able to get that moving pretty much because he was admitted. So
Yeah, and it's been 10 months of me squealing about it to my urologist and my doctor, so
yeah.
they made sure for it to happen. I'm not scheduled for tomorrow, so I don't know when I'm going in for surgery. All I know is I'm not to eat or drink after midnight tonight
Yeah.
for the surgery.
Yeah.
But I saw a question about how far we are from the hospital. Luckily, we're only like 15-20 minutes, like her father typed in the chat.
Pretty much you can get anywhere in this city in 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, luckily the city we live in has every necessity you need, I guess. They're not great, but they're there. They're available. But I could see why you'd ask that question, because if we were from a
I mean,
place
in
like
bigger cities.
Ulm or Loma
Or yeah,
or
if we were like, or even out in like Sims and Sun River, that's a good like 20-30 minutes to get here. Or the Belt.
yeah, and those are such small cities that they don't have anything.
They're towns.
Can Lauren adopt a new artificial body or not? How do you adopt a body?
I don't know. I know there's arm transplants, if that's what you're talking about, but outside of that, no.
I'd love to get into a research center like John Hopkins, get an arm transplant, get
Right.
some research done. But someone retracted their message.
Do you want an arm transplant?
I definitely want an arm transplant. If I can get an arm transplant over having a bionic or
Right.
prosthetic arm, I mean, who wouldn't? The real thing over the fake thing. Actually, a lot of people would go for the fake thing. But
I think it's all about preference. Thank you, Barbara.
But no, I definitely go for a real arm again. I feel like a real boy.
You're like a real boy.
I'm a real boy.
Okay, Pinocchio.
Exactly. Oh, so we had a big question that was in the
Yeah, let me pull it up.
in the comments of one of our videos that Sabia's father wanted us to answer or make sure to not forget to answer.
They said, I rarely hear people talking about the depth of dissociation after traumatic experiences. Mental health has become such a cliche and terms get overused. People who have experienced actual extreme trauma end up feeling alienated because these terms get so watered down.
We want to slow it down a little bit.
Sorry.
Pronunciate a little more so people can hear you.
And I think that was actually the second reaction. The original question is
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a whole lot of message.
in just
There
three.
we go, there's the beginning. Can I ask how you've managed your mental health through all of this? You could be such an inspiration to those who experience any kind of adversity, no matter how big or small. So it was asking about our mental health, like how we navigate our mental health.
You
through
skipped the
everything.
dissociative part.
There's so much. I was just trying to find it still. Should I just read the whole thing?
I don't care. I mean, you got the gist of the question, right?
Yeah.
Like, this person, after her thing, she feels like she's living in kind of a dream
she's
world because of
dissociating
everything.
a lot and everything.
And do you guys have that?
Yeah.
Do you,
Okay.
or had it?
Okay,
Or,
will you restate the question, please?
Yes.
And then
So they were.
why don't you go to the first message?
I am a little out of it, you guys. Be nice to me right now. Okay.
are you on the arm transplant list? I did not know that there is an arm transplant list. Where's that? I mean, I'm sure it's online somewhere, but what state do they do that in?
Okay, here we go. So the person who asked that question, they were hospitalized a year ago with a rare autoimmune disease and almost lost their life. And since then, they said, I've since completely recovered and have no life-altering effects from it, though I still struggle with my mental health around what happened to me. Having such a life-altering experience, even if it doesn't last, makes you realize how strange life is. I've been dealing with such bad derealization and dissociation since. Because of this, I'm stuck in a place where life feels like a dream and I have such a hard time visualizing the future. That makes everything not enjoyable. Hobbies and activities I used to love, I find I am forcing myself to do them and convincing myself they are pleasurable, but they aren't fulfilling deep down. I wonder if you've ever struggled with similar feelings and if you've been able to counter them. What makes you feel present and able to enjoy daily life? There were like 6 screenshots and all of that, so I was having a hard time
I
finding
understand.
the one. But, you want to start?
I totally understand you with the hobbies and doing things of how it could feel not as rewarding or make you feel happy like it used to. Since my surgery and disability, I too have struggled with finding hobbies or things that I can do that I feel are contributing in a way to in a purpose to not only my life but someone's life, everyone around me. I don't know. What would you say? I'm terrible.
I'd say in terms of like watching you, in terms of this conversation, there's a lot of hobbies that it's not that you don't enjoy them anymore, it's that you can't do them anymore. And so you've had to find different hobbies to have that are less like strenuous on you. And because they're not the hobbies that you originally were super like into, you don't have as much of a love or a drive for them. And as far as that goes, like that's just been a matter of us trying to find something that ticks that box for you. So for you, a lot of hobbies are physical things, physical activities, getting up, going and doing stuff. And so
building
in terms,
things with
yeah.
my own 2 hands.
So in
instead
terms of
just-
the hobby situation in realms to like their situation, I'd say it's pretty like you can't really compare them to an extent, because most of the hobbies you enjoyed doing you just simply can't do anymore. So it's been a matter of you having to find new hobbies, and we're still yet to find one where you're like, yes, this, like I can put all of my energy into it and like I really like doing this. You won't have hobbies where you're like, I do this because it's something I can do, but like I'm just kind of doing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's totally how it is.
In terms of the other stuff, surprisingly, and maybe this will get me some backlash, I think I can actually relate to that the most rather than Lauren. Because when it comes to the mental health effects post-accident, we like to joke about it all the time that Lauren didn't get any PTSD and I got all of it. And since the accident, I actually have been diagnosed with dissociative disorder, and with that as well, I pretty much all of my hobbies that I enjoyed before all of this happened, I don't really care about anymore. I just read all the time, and but in terms of that dream state that you talk about, that's a pretty constant for me. And the only like advice I'll give towards that, because everyone handles mental health differently and everyone handles like diagnosed conditions differently. All of our brains are, you know, different. For me, therapy really just helped a lot. My therapist really understood me and understood how my brain worked and understood what I've been through, and so she was able to help me find grounding exercises that work for me. And it doesn't necessarily like fix anything for me. I still a lot of days feel like I'm in this weird dream state, and when it gets really bad I have panic attacks because nothing feels real, and you know, I'll touch a textured wall and a fuzzy blanket and I can't feel anything and I'm just kind of out of body, and that's when I, you know, practice grounding exercises. But I'm still moving like through that and trying to like find my way around it. And so in terms of all of that, the best I can like do is relate to you, because I'm still figuring out my like my way through it. So
thank you so much for the $5. I have tried a TENS unit, but I didn't get anything out
we
of
didn't
it.
get anywhere with that.
But yeah, when it comes to the PTSD and dissociation and stuff like that, I can't say I've ever really experienced any of that.
I think honestly your brain's too focused on all the physical aspects of everything. You just didn't have room to have any of the PTSD stuff. And maybe you do, and we just haven't had a trigger for it yet. So as far as we're concerned, you're completely fine. And then one day something will happen and you'll be like, oh my god, you know?
Right. I mean, that's how PTSD works, right?
We'll just keep trying.
We'll just keep trying to freak me out.
Yeah. Do you think the dream phase of being / thinking is your brain in protection mode so that you don't get bogged down, which you might if you were in reality at the moment? For me, through like with all the therapy stuff, my dissociation stuff, it is a stress reaction, and it is like a escape from reality coping mechanism that my brain has created. So yeah, it is kind of like a shield that my brain uses. It goes, oh, we're getting too stressed, we're getting too overwhelmed, or we're getting too worried about this thing that's going to happen in regards to this trauma we went through. So we're going to dissociate But I also have really bad anxiety, so I dissociate, and then I have a panic attack because nothing feels real, and I go, oh my god, I'm actually in a mental institution, this is all in my brain, nothing's real, and then it just gets worse. But, so, I can't really give advice on all of that because I'm still working through it myself and trying to find a new normal with all of that. But at the very least, with that person who commented about that, like, I can at least, like, sympathize with you because I'm going through it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope that wasn't too jumbled. I'm not good at explaining things.
A lot better than I am.
The comments take a moment to like fill up on our screen, so there's always like a little gap between. Oh. Thank you, TDS Harper. Oh. Hello.
What do we have planned for the future? So my grandma Laura, she's suffering from multiple different things: Parkinson's, a collapsed lung, multiple different things, and she's stuck bedbound right now. And I'm hoping that she stays alive long enough that I can see her before she passes and say goodbye. She lives about 4 hours away in Billings, so I'm hoping that this surgery and recovery time is only like a day or two of being in the hospital, if that, and then we can take off and go to Billings and get to say goodbye and
Thank
stuff.
you, Donna.
Thank you so much, Donna.
And then we also want to go see your sister.
Yep, we want to see my sister over in Kalispell, which is 6 hours the other way. Or no, how?
Kalispell's like 4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah, it depends on the season, really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, depends on the if
it's a
snowy,
good drive.
Yeah.
If it's snowy in the past, it's 6 hours. It's a beautiful drive to Kalispell and whatnot. But I want to go see my sister and her kids and husband and that side of her family, of her husband's family. And Savia has a best friend that she wants to go see that has a kid in Missoula.
Yeah, we want to go visit them. Oh, speaking
And
of
the wedding?
which,
What?
she actually texted me last night because I texted her and I
When
told
did
her
you
to
say
miss
that?
I said any wedding?
Yeah, and the wedding's in October, Riley's.
Oh, and her
but,
other friend's having a wedding in October.
I texted her, said I miss you, and she said she might come the weekend of the 13th. Her and Shep. So
Nice.
we might get to see them before we go visit them anyway.
Nice.
Yeah, but there's pretty much this whole summer with Lauren finally having this surgery and being able to, because the whole time we've been waiting for this surgery, for those of you who don't know, he's had that temporary nephrostomy tube, so he hasn't been able to get up in his prosthetic or his wheelchair for like 10 months, so we haven't really been able to do anything.
I mean, stuck
And so
bedbound.
with
literally.
this surgery finally happening, this whole summer we pretty much want to fill with going on trips, seeing family and friends, and just kind of getting ourselves out of the house, out of the town, and getting that breath of fresh air, pretty much.
Yeah. And we'll have some content for you guys while doing it all.
Yes.
Instead of just, hello, we got nothing for
We're
you.
still stuck, you know.
I feel like I have like big old hair right here. Can you pull it?
I can't pull it without tweezers, baby.
Oh, you don't have nails.
No, I bite my nails.
So do I.
Yes, surgery happens tomorrow.
I got it. Yeah. I don't know what time tomorrow though. I'm really hoping it's earlier in the day because I'm not one that can stand starving and being dehydrated for long. Well, it's the dehydration that kills me. I can go long times without food, but my body just goes through water like it's nothing. My kidney output is like 3 times more than the average person's.
He drinks
So
a lot.
the question earlier of how I got kidney stones, my doctor himself has no idea how I got kidney stones because I don't drink pop. All I drink more water than he's seen anyone ever drink in their entire life. And
and he drinks
They'll know more when they're out, because then they go to the laboratory and
Yeah.
they see what their made of.
Oh no shit! I didn't know that. But my doctor said the only thing he had to guess would be calcium. Is the only thing that he could think of, and I was like, "What? Like my bowl of cereal?" It's like, yeah, I guess you're eating too much cereal. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, TDS Harbor, we said we can't do the radio waves because they're stuck behind my spine.
Yeah, so originally when we first found out he had the kidney stones, he was only supposed to have to deal with them for 2 months. So all of Montana shares one Zap machine, and it's got a,
Travels.
yeah, it
Gets
travels.
passed
It's
around.
got a schedule for each hospital in Montana. Whereas, you know, a small populated state. We're a big state, but we're a small populated state. But, so all of Montana shares one zapper. When we first found out he had his kidney stones, it was 2 months till our hospital got the zapper. By the time his scheduled appointment to get his kidney stones zapped came, the kidney stones had moved to behind his spine. And so the zapper can't go through bone, which is why we've had to wait for surgery and stuff. He was only supposed to have to deal with them for 2 months, but by the time we got the zapper, we were screwed. Which one?
Do you ever bump into healthcare providers who are obviously uncomfortable with Lauren's physical
Presentation.
presentation?
Like uncomfortable with like how his body is?
Yeah.
I have been denied healthcare by certain doctors
Yeah,
due to
but we
what my
haven't
body looks like.
we haven't bumped into, I wouldn't say we've had any that are
I
like,
know, but remember how you found out that nurses and other specialists here get talked to before
yeah.
they come into your room for the
we
first
did
time?
find out one of our last days here. You were the one who told me this.
I don't remember.
Oh, another nurse told us this. But apparently it's common when it's knowledge that you're admitted, if a nurse or like CNA, I believe, hasn't had you before, your situation gets explained to them so that it's not a shock factor for them when they first see you. Because for a lot of people it is a shock factor at first. And so apparently there's like a talking to, that sounds like they're in trouble, but there's a talking to explain like the severity of your situation so that shock factor doesn't hit them the first time they see you and like make you uncomfortable or them uncomfortable. Thank you, Cybercat.
Thank you.
So yeah, we haven't run into anyone who's like, oh gosh, when they see him, but apparently through the grapevine from what we've heard is it's common for them to like get talked to
I didn't
before
know
people
that.
treat him.
I forgot that.
So yeah, but the one bright side I will say about like it being like a smaller hospital and a smaller city is it's very common when Lauren gets admitted to get the same doctors he's had before, the same nurses, you know, stuff like that.
Same ER people.
Yeah, because most of the time when he gets admitted, he gets sent to the same floor every time, and we've been getting sent to this floor for like 4 years now. So like not every time, but a lot of the times we get a nurse we've had before, or we get a hospitalist that we've had before, and that helps a lot because those people already know Lauren and they've had to care for him before, so it makes the hospitalization situation just a little bit easier. Obviously we still get some crabby people who treat him like crap, but you're gonna find that wherever, whatever. But
how long have I been in the hospital? Since last Saturday?
yes, a week now.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll be coming home Tuesday or Wednesday. I believe it's just 1 day post-op of watching you. So hopefully Tuesday or Wednesday you get to come home.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And I get to be up and going around.
Well, I'm pretty sure Dr. Slater said that after the operation they have to keep your nephrostomy tube in for at least 2 more weeks to make sure that nothing goes wrong. I could be wrong, in remembering that because that conversation
sense,
happened like 6 months ago, but I'm pretty sure there's a limited amount of time they have to keep your nephrostomy tube in after surgery before they can pull it.
That sucks.
But then it gets.
Thank you, Connie.
But then I can get up and go do stuff.
Yes, then you can
You
get
have to
up and go do
retrain
stuff.
yourself on your bucket.
Yeah, I'll have to
Get your body used
learn
to
my
it.
tolerance all over again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you ever get phantom pain? Not anymore. The people that I had for rehab specialists at Shirley Ryan in Chicago gave me the tools I needed to stretch and do whatever else needed to help get rid of my pain.
Yeah.
And after like a year or two, I'd say like maybe even a year and a half, too. I don't know. My phantom pain
I'd
went
say
away completely.
Your phantom pain went away completely within like the first 6 months.
Yeah, really fast.
Pretty much by the time we left rehab, you didn't have phantom pain anymore. That went away so quick. It's just been your neuropathy pain pretty much this whole time.
Yeah, and so like the pain I do suffer is along the bottom of my body, those damaged nerves, all that they didn't kill off or put a nerve block in for, stuff like that. That's what cramps and causes me pain, causes me to shake and wince like you guys have seen. But it's not phantom pain that I struggle from. It's from neuropathy pain, damaged nerves and whatnot. I have a couple damaged nerves in the C3 or whatever. So two bones in my spine are like compacted down and have damaged the nerves heading down my spine due to the accident from the fall down the hill. Crushed it or whatever. Luckily, it didn't crush it enough to where it caused a spinal accident of any sort, but it did mess with my nerves and has added to
and
my
also
everything.
for his like lower bit where his pain acts up really badly is originally when the surgery happened they were going to go back in and cauterize all of those nerve endings, but then the outlook of Lauren surviving was really low, and those of you who followed along our story from the beginning, he actually ended up going into hospice care because he was pretty much on his way to dying, and then once he was sent to hospice care he actually started recovering very quickly, but by then it was too late for them to go back in and cauterize all of those nerves. They weren't willing to reopen him after like all the infections and stuff that happened after the first surgery, and so standardly those nerve endings where he's cut would have been cauterized, which would have avoided a lot of pain for him, but because of how everything played out they didn't end up getting cauterized, and now like no one's willing to open him back up. It's the cost outweighs the risk outweighs the benefit for opening him back up like that to cauterize them. So he does have all of these. It was explained to me once pretty much like you've got your nerve endings and your pain receptors and they bounce, and then they communicate with your brain or whatever and go, okay,
Thank you,
whatever.
Adrian.
But he's just got a bunch of nerve endings that are just firing off into nothing pretty much, which is why his pain is always so icky. So it was just kind of like a shitty process of events that led to one thing not getting done and now it can't get done. So that's why Lauren's pain is so icky, where we've had the other hemicorporectomy survivors were able to avoid that pain because their nerve endings were taken care of.
Yeah, I was actually able to help a man named Roger Queen, who sadly isn't alive anymore, but I was able to tell him to make sure his doctors cauterize his nerve endings, and he came out of the hospital with almost no pain whatsoever, just phantom pain.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's good. Felt really proud and happy for him.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I can get into a place like a research center in Texas or in John Hopkins and what is that, Massachusetts, Baltimore, Massachusetts?
John Hopkins. There's like Mayo, John Hopkins.
Whatever.
Yeah, there's a couple of big ones.
Any research center, whatever that deals with medical stuff or deals with prosthetics. I would totally love to go to and try and develop some craft because I have lots of ideas on how
Mm-hmm.
things could be changed or whatnot or made for a person like myself. But since we're stuck in a place like Great Falls, Montana, and don't exactly have the team to put it together.
Well, I mean, we have the team to contact those places, which
You
is
do?
the first step. Well, yeah, your doctors can contact those places, and that's the
We've done
first step.
I think the biggest step is for you to be mobile.
Yeah, that too.
But we have asked the doctors and whatnot. And
Baby, we just started talking about this like 2 weeks ago. We have not asked the doctors.
What about that one guy that does prosthetics for the army?
Huh?
Remember that,
No.
doctor?
what's up?
You're the one who told me about it. This guy that focuses on army injuries who makes prosthetics. You sent me a whole article about him a couple months ago. I think
Yes,
you
my
said you were
dad
talking
is
to him.
with us. He helps us manage our social media since
That
we
numbers
can't
so
keep up
terrible.
like with comments and stuff all
I'll
the time.
see if I can find
So
him.
he's
remember
like one of
I
our
don't know
main
what you're talking about.
moderators, and he's also the one who kind of keeps us on schedule. So, yes, Lauren's. So, Harborview Medical Center, the place that actually performed his surgery, they have released a
Medical study.
study from his surgery.
Which has photos.
Yes, it has photos of Lauren. I believe if you just Google hemicorporectomy, you can find that medical study that was done on Lauren. We have posted it on our Facebook account when it first came out, like 2 or 3 years ago. But you can find it, and it actually has photos of Lauren's body, like during surgery, and like a scan or X-ray or whatever of his pelvic bone. That was like dust pretty much, or it's like a reconstruction, but it's lots of big words. But
Lots of big
I
words.
actually, when it came out, my cousin, she's in vet med, and I had to call her while I read it because she had to explain all the big medical terms to me. But yeah. Yes, my father is a great mediator for Lauren and I.
My cheeks are getting
Mediator.
fat. Cheeks are getting fat from laying around, doing nothing. Seriously. Lauren, you are the true hero. I am no hero whatsoever. Sabi is a hero.
Yeah.
Stick by my side through everything, through all the trials and tribulations of dealing with this type of medical situation. When she doesn't necessarily have to, she could walk away any minute. There's nothing holding her back. But yet she still chooses to stick by my side every day and support me in every way she can and do whatever she can for me.
Because I love you.
And always make sure that somebody has an eye on me no matter what. For instance, she'll go get coffee and that camera will be on the whole entire time because she
Well-
doesn't want my taken off of me.
And that's only when you have your other caregiver with you. I just don't trust anyone, so I still
I know.
check the camera
I know.
no matter what.
I know.
But yeah. I do my best.
You're controlling,
I'm-
really, is
yes.
what's going on.
I keep him locked in that room,
Yeah.
like camera
Yeah.
on him. I don't let him go see anyone, go anywhere.
That's right. Threw this bucket away.
Yeah, she just
Can
lets
you
me.
tell we get lots of accusations?
She just has me lay on the floor and roll
Oh
around
my
while
gosh,
people
yeah,
open
that's one we
Christmas
heard.
presents.
We heard when there's this person in our lives who is really against me being in Lauren's life, and they like to spread misinformation. But the most recent one we found out was that apparently at Christmas, I just keep Lauren locked in that back room, and when company comes over, I take him out and I put him on the floor and I let him just roll around. So, yeah, we've been having fun with crazy accusations lately.
Was there a person that hit you up that wanted to do a book on this?
Yeah, we're waiting for you to be mobile so you can do
Yeah.
the book signing and stuff.
Oh, so yeah, we actually have a book.
It's a children's
Yeah.
book.
A
It's
children's,
like a-
yeah, a children's book. It won't be a biography or
It's
anything adult.
no, it's meant as a positive
Yeah.
story for little kids to learn how to deal with
Empathy,
life.
Yeah.
Really.
Which is
And to not
great.
treat people differently.
And nothing is signed yet. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
no, we're
in
still-
negotiations.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. But they
Talking.
might be making a book about us that will appeal to kids and how you treat other people with disabilities or just people that are different than from you. Right? That's the gist of
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out.
we don't know when it's coming out.
Yeah,
We don't
it's
know when
still,
it's
like,
happening. It's still
we just
a
had
conversation.
conversations. There's,
Lauren, you ask me like this, you don't complain about your situation and always express positive attitude in the videos. How do you when faced with difficulties? I'm just I don't people who know me personally, I wouldn't think they would call me a jolly person or a happy person.
you have your moments, but I think what they're saying is that, like,
I'm never
how do
down and
how,
depressed.
well, yeah, but like, how do when you do have those difficult times, how do you face it? Like, how do you go about that when you have your lower moments? Yeah, like, what do you do to help yourself?
I smoke marijuana and talk to my wife about it or a friend
Especially if I'm the one causing
or
the bad mood. You can't really talk to me then.
All I do
Thank
is
you,
just
Donna.
express myself to one or two people max, and once it's out, I have it off my chest. I don't.
Yeah.
It's gone for me. I don't. I'm not the type of person that sits there and stews
Yeah.
and
You're pretty good at getting it out and then moving
Yeah.
past it.
yeah. As soon as I express what is bothering me or what has made me mad or whatever, I'm over it. And honestly, most of the time I feel bad afterwards and how I expressed myself. Because
Yeah.
I had a childhood in where it was very easy to speak French around people, if y'all know what I'm saying, and cussing and whatnot. So it's made my vocabulary very vulgar, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say it doesn't really have to do with your vocabulary. It has to do with your delivery, which is a result of how you were raised. It's not.
Yep.
It's not necessarily the words you're saying. It's how you say them.
You can be
know?
crude,
Yeah.
I could be crude.
Yeah.
The
Loyal.
tone of voice.
but you
can
know
be-
it.
Yeah.
You know it when you do it and you realize it.
Retract, but
So
like I've said before, a lot of your reactions and a lot of like how you first go about things is a learned behavior of trauma and of what you went through as a kid.
Mhm.
And so, but you're pretty good these days at my new lotion.
Mhm.
So sometimes you have a tendency of things coming out a little crude or a little more aggressive they need to be. But over the years, you've started realizing that. So like now when things come out a little aggressively, you kind of realize it more and you go, sorry, I didn't mean for that to sound so rude.
Right.
And that, yeah. Thank you, Cybercat.
Thank you so much for the $10. That's another donation from Cybercat.
Mm-hmm.
We were both retired, still young, and we advocate for that. No voice, and you were both amazing. We want to see June 6th coming. You're right. You're cutting edge ideas. Thank you. We live in Montana, and that's all we're gonna
Yeah, we don't.
say. We don't want to.
You can always, if you want to try and have like a more direct line of communication with us, you can message the Sabi and Lauren Facebook message, and we do our best to go through all of those.
Or
But-
email.
But those are that's the only place where we will reply to people on. We don't do it through like our personal accounts, but we
I do through my Instagram. I don't know
and the
what that was.
Gmail.
And yeah, and our but for the most part, like if you try to message our personal Facebooks or like my personal Instagram or anything like that, you're not going to get a reply. But if you message the Sabi and Lauren Facebook account, we're pretty good at filtering through those and replying to people on there. It's just kind of like that separation of public and private for us, you know.
Lauren, do you ever have? Hold on, there was a different question. Oh, I want to try and put together a children's book explaining cancer and trying to help them. Though it is a breast cancer survivor, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's always important to put things in ways children can understand it, because I think that allows them to grow up with more empathy and understanding of, you know, the different situations in the world with people.
Bill White, do you ever have days when you feel like, why bother anymore? I'm out of here. You're obviously still here, but why? What is the meaning of your life? I'd say I'd have like a day or two, but that's the most like down in the dumps day that you could
And they're
have,
pretty
and
few and far in between.
exactly like I said, 1 or 2 in the 5 years since my accident.
And I
Hold
feel
on, let me read the question again. And I'm still trying to figure out what the purpose is to my life, honestly.
To have fun.
That's, yeah, maybe it is to just have fun and do whatever, but.
Well, and I'd say this is a pretty big purpose. You have reached a lot of people through this, which is the whole point of this,
Channel.
is to reach people and show them that, like, they have that community and they're not alone. You know, like,
that
I'd
they
say
can be
that's a
fulfilled.
pretty big purpose. Yeah. Can you show us your tattoos?
So I got a bionic arm with a mechanical heart, because my right arm, I lost it, so it's a bionic arm. Mechanical heart represents my, what would you call it, cardiovascular system.
Yeah.
Because they said that how they had to reroute my blood flow through my body,
Thank
they
you,
didn't
DWG.
know was possible before. So I thought a mechanical heart would be cool to represent that. And then I have an elephant on my shoulder as a tattoo to Savia, because she loves elephants. And then I have an eye with a ace in it, because my gamer tag online for video games has been iAce for as long as I can remember. On the back side here is a video game me and my brother grew up on PlayStation 2 and 3. It's called Sly Cooper, and they came out with 4 games on the PlayStation only, and it's about these 3 kids that grew up in an orphanage and end up becoming a group of thieves when they grow up. One's the thief, one's the mastermind, and the other one's the muscle. And so I had the mastermind Bentley on my arm, because he's in a wheelchair in the second game, or at the end of the second game, and my dad decided to take an arm off of him and his legs and whatnot to make him represent me even more. And then I have my brother's call sign, which is the raccoon face right behind it, and then he has my call sign behind his character on his arm. And then I got copyright 2001. Sorry, I have bruises everywhere from my IVs. I got copyright 2001 because me, Sabia, and my sister all got the same tattoo. And then I have 2 axes on my arm right here. That represents my 2 amputations that I've gone through. And then the rest, my dad just did as filler on me with just a highlighter. He just drew on me with a highlighter and went at it.
Made it all
And all this
fit
is
together. Same with all up here. It's all filler.
Yep.
Pretty sick.
Are all of them done by your dad?
All my tattoos except for the elephant are
Yeah.
done by my father.
The elephant got done in Seattle.
Yeah, that's why it looks a totally different consistency than the rest of my tattoos.
But all the rest were done by his dad.
Yeah. But I am a big tattoo fan, and so is Savia. Mary's
Thank you,
Legowski.
Mary.
Thank you so much for the $20. What are your tattoos, Savia?
I have this one, which is my tribute tattoo to Lauren. I got this with like 5 of my friends when we went to a concert. I got this with one of my childhood
You gotta
best
explain
friends.
them. Come on.
Well,
I got
most
this.
of them,
I got this.
most of them that I got with friends are just like, oh, we wanted to get this together.
Yeah.
And so far, I've only this is matching with my friends because we wanted to get it. This is matching with one of my childhood best friends because her mom didn't really like that we were friends when we were really little, and so we made a pact that if we were still friends when we were 18, we'd get matching tattoos together because her mom didn't like tattoos. And then we turned 18 and we got fucking. And then I got this is a stick and poke my friend did for me. Same with these. I have a lot of Studio Ghibli tattoos all on this arm
We
because
type
I
those
love
tattoos
Studio
more.
Ghibli.
Those tattoo.
And then
Yeah,
I
those
got
tattoos
this
are
is a
more.
matching tattoo with my cousins. I got these little mushroom dudes because I wanted them. Most of these are just like tattoos that I wanted. This says "Let's meet again" for the first time. I just thought that was cute. And then I got this with my ride or die. It says "Trash Buddies," established 2020, because her and I both have really, really bad depression, and when we got super bonded, we would literally call each other over and be like, hey, can you help me take my trash out? And so that turned into that. And this bee I got with my parents. My dad and my mom both have one.
Her dad raised his arm in the background as soon as she said
And
that.
then that's Studio Ghibli. I got this for Pride Month with my cousin.
I think she's sexy
Like, I do too.
for so simplistic.
But I got
Mhm.
her during Pride Month in like 2020 with my cousin because we're both bisexual, so we got a nice little lady on us. I already showed them him.
Oh.
And then that's another Studio Ghibli. And then I have,
Studio Ghibli's like anime.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have this is with my cousin as well.
You got
And
that
then
when you were
I
young.
got that when I was 16
Yeah.
because
And she was 14.
our parents approved of it because we were very codependent on each other, and her family was moving to Vegas, and we were both honestly kind of suicidal about it. So we asked our parents if we could get matching tattoos before she moved.
A 14 and 16-year-old.
And they said yes. And then
Very
this is
responsible.
just one I got because I wanted it.
As you can see, Sabia gets a lot of things just because she wanted it.
Yes. Or because I'm with my friends and I go, oh my gosh, we should get this tattoo. And yeah, a majority of my tattoos are matching tattoos that either are matching because the person is important or we did something together that like we wanted to commemorate. Like this I got with everyone when we went to a concert together and we wanted to remember that time spent together. So yeah.
The person asked about the one-handed gaming controller. I actually do have a one-handed gaming controller that I use and I'm pretty good at using, which I plan to use and get back into gaming and streaming once I'm sitting back up. And also her brother is building me a gaming computer that I will be able to stream with and hopefully
Super nice
not
house
have
phone.
any problems with for the next 5 years.
Yeah, he said with the stuff he's putting in there, Lauren shouldn't have to replace or upgrade anything for like a decade.
Yeah,
so
'cause my last computer, which I don't know how many of you were around for that, I started to get into streaming for you guys as I was playing games, but that computer, the graphics card it came from the manufacturer pretty much
Broken.
shit.
yeah, it came broken, and then we sent it back in
Mhm.
because we had warranty on it, and then they sent it back, but it was still broken. It was a whole like.
And then we took it to a computer place and they dealt with it. We brought it back, plugged it in, didn't work again, brought it back to a computer place, brought it back home, didn't work still. Months
Yeah.
went by and now finally I just sent my computer with him when he was up here visiting back down to Las Vegas, and he took whatever good parts there were and he's making me a brand new
Thank you,
computer
Gareth.
that of course I had to pay for parts for him to build. Naturally, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gareth.
And he asked, how can I find your streams? So Lauren's YouTube channel that he uses for streaming, obviously he hasn't been active on it in a while, but it's linked through our like channel dashboard. So if you go to our Sabi and Lauren channel, it shows like linked accounts, and his, I believe it's IAce Nation,
Yep.
is linked, and that's his streaming YouTube channel.
And my
And
Twitch.
his YouTube channel that he streams from has his Twitch linked. But once he's like active and streaming again, we will share all of that with you guys again for those of you that want to watch that. I have no idea what that comment's supposed
Neither
to
do
be.
I. Do I kind of feel like a pencil eraser tip? I don't even know.
I don't know either.
I guess you don't know. There was something.
I saw a lot of comments asking about the animals, and where they are. They're obviously at home. Our animals are able to like exist by themselves, but I do actually have someone there with them right now, just because Gaia, I don't like her being in the kennel too long with us being gone, and so I do have a friend there to like take her out for me and stuff. But
And
other
she
than
just
that,
got
our
fixed.
animals are pretty. They're good at being left alone, and yeah, Gaia did just get fixed, so she's like post surgery.
And so we really
Yeah,
gotta watch out.
but-
She popped her cone bubble thing.
Yeah, I
So,
gotta get her a new one.
Oh, you already got her a new one, so you don't have to watch out for her looking.
No, I only had to do that while I waited for the new one.
My bad.
I told you that.
My bad.
But yeah, if I'm just gone for like an hour or two, our animals are fine. Gaia goes in her kennel. Atlas, he's like super house trained, so he just lays on the couch, and the cats are the cats.
Just because he's house trained though does not mean he's not a crybaby.
Oh yeah, he'll cry the whole time on the couch that we're gone. But do you have videos before the accident? No.
I wish I did.
I mean, I have like one or two random little Snapchat clips, but like we didn't get into all of this until after the accident happened.
I see you taking over that. Yeah, I'm definitely planning to get back into streaming and whatnot. And there's actually clips already posted that you guys can see if you wondered how exactly it looks like and how I play with the one-handed controller and whatnot.
Mhm.
Not bad.
Yep.
I actually still
Oh.
land up on the top of the leaderboard when I play Call of Duty and stuff. So
I saw a comment earlier that I meant to answer, but we were in a deep explanation. Somebody asked, there's a TikTok account, it's called Lauren Showers, that has been popping up all over For You pages. It's been on mine, yeah. It's not us. Our only TikTok page is the Sabi and Lauren account. For the most part, this person, they're just taking clips of our YouTube videos and posting them. You know, they're not doing anything we can
you make
do anything about.
lots of money off of clipping.
Yes,
Apparently.
but not really, not on TikTok. But also, this
Each
person
million views.
isn't pretending to be us per se. Like they're not posting as if they're us. Their page is called Lauren Showers, and they post our clips, but they link our YouTube every time. Like they're not doing it maliciously. They're just they're just a random channel helping us spread Lauren's story. So if you see them up, it's not actually us posting. So like if you're in the comments talking to us, it's not our channel. But they're not really doing anything wrong, and actually, you know, they're reaching quite a few people, so we have no problem with it because they do reference us.
They
for
don't
it.
take credit and they don't
Yeah,
take
they
money.
don't take credit, and you know, so if you see that one pop up, like
It's okay.
it's fine.
Yeah.
When they first popped up for me, I was like, oh my gosh, and I was like, this isn't us, because I always get panicky about that. But then when I actually looked into their account, I realized like they're not pretending to be Lauren, like they're just posting clips of us, and our YouTube is like referenced in all of it, so like they're not doing anything harmful.
I watched a video the other day that said that you can start making a lot of money through clipping on TikTok now. Apparently, like every million views, they give you like $1,000 or something
I
now.
haven't heard anything
Which
like that, but even then,
Is
like
insane.
I'm not too worried about it unless they try impersonating you and are like in the comments talking
I know.
for you.
I wasn't
Then I
saying
don't
that. I
really.
was just saying that.
Well, was just letting them know that they don't have to like report that account 80 million times.
Do we like board games?
Depends.
We play Mario Party.
That's not a board game. I mean, it's like
kind
an
of a
online board game, kind of, yeah. We went through a stage there where we were like having game nights with friends, and we do like Monopoly sometimes.
Life.
What was that gnome game we played that Jethro brought
Oh,
to Christmas one year?
no.
We played it with like Selena and she, and it was either Jaren or Devin was there.
Jared.
That one was fun though. But we haven't really played board games lately.
Yeah. Bedbound. So I haven't done much of anything the past 10 months.
Yes, Nancy, I have actually 3 Princess Mononoke tattoos.
We talk about our favorite anime, favorite Studio Ghibli movie.
Yeah, Princess Mononoke is my top, for sure.
We do have a P.O. box. Savia
We do.
just keeps forgetting to put it in the comments of the videos.
I've been putting it should be in the description of the videos.
It's actually not, and I'll take responsibility for that. I keep forgetting it.
Well, you know how like in the description we put like all the socials?
Yeah, and those are
Yeah.
all there every time, but the
Just
P.O.
the P.O.
box
box
somehow
isn't?
got...
Maybe I took it out like during that stint where like we didn't have it accessible, and then I just
Could
forgot
be.
to put it back in. I don't remember, but we do have a PO box, and it's somewhere. We'll put it in this description, but normally it's in the description of our videos. If you go back to our older videos, like past a year ago, almost all of those will have it in the description.
Yeah, I don't know it by heart. I don't know what
It's 73 PO Box 7310.
That's
Great
what I
Falls.
think.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's
it is.
7310 PO Box 7310 Great Falls, Montana 59405. Is it 6? Hold on.
I'm pretty sure it's 6.
I don't
Let me
think it
just find it
matters.
really quick.
It's on things that Lauren can still do.
Okay, hold on.
That's my
Let
go-to
me-
video if I need it.
Let me go to our
I don't blame
videos
you.
really quick.
I think that's our most watched video.
Videos.
Yep. Almost at 40 million.
Really? Wow.
Latest.
40
Popular.
million?
Yeah, it's at 39 million.
God damn. That's quite a bit of views on the YouTube realm, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
lot of views.
That's
I mean,
it's a
I-
crazy amount of views, actually.
Yeah.
low-key.
For YouTubers. I mean, that's a lot.
It is P.O. Box 7310 Great Falls, Montana 59406. I thought we were only in 404 and 405.
It's the post office's own.
Oh,
Zip
they
code.
have their own. Oh, that's weird.
Yep, everything around it is 405. But
That's why I thought it was 405
They
because
got
it's
their
on
own
this
zip
side of
code.
town.
I heard if you mix vinegar, some baking soda, and toothpaste, and just brush with that for a couple months, it'll take tartar and plaque off your teeth like
Jana,
crazy.
a
White
lot
your
of our
teeth.
videos are filmed with a handheld, like actual video camera, and then other videos like this one are from the front camera of like an iPad. So the front camera mirrors the image, whereas the handheld video camera does it as is. So that's why some videos it's mirrored. He's missing his right arm. So no matter what it looks like on the screen, it's his right arm that's missing.
I keep seeing comments asking about the bionic arm. We are just waiting for the company to
They're
get at
still
us
in their
about it.
trial periods. It's that stuff takes time. They've got to go through a bunch of stuff to get it to where people can use them. So, yeah.
Yeah.
When we know more, you guys will know more. But they had just started working on it. It was a brand new thing when we first found out about it. And anyone who knows the medical industry or the prosthetic industry knows that stuff can take years. So,
I also saw somebody ask about
I also love
Cool.
Nausicaa.
pools and whatnot. We take advantage of pools and big bodies of water whenever we're able to, because it does actually help with my damaged nerve pain and whatnot. We just have to have. We have to have bandages, right? Or the waterproof band. Or we learned that the colostomies are waterproof. Huh?
Your colostomies are waterproof, but for the
Up to a certain.
Well, and to be respectful of the public pool, like when Lauren takes a shower or something, his wafers are waterproof, so like we don't have to worry about them leaking out or anything like that. But when we're in a public pool, just to like ease the conscience, we put saran wrap on top with waterproof tape around it, so we still tape them up to ease everyone else's worry so that they don't see the ostomies and be like, oh my gosh, is that leaking through? Because we don't want to make other people uncomfortable. So we do, when we're in a public pool, we do still waterproof the area, more for like everyone else's comfort. But we do utilize pools whenever we can because that helps Lauren's pain to none other. That weightlessness really makes a difference for him.
Because you got to think, my organs are constantly sitting against my damaged nerves down there, and so the only time I get true weightlessness is when I'm in a body of water.
Yeah. D-hole, we both are born and bred Montanans. We unfortunately we live in the not pretty part of Montana. We live in the plains,
In the
prairie,
right before the mountains.
like we're kind of like, if you go this way for half an hour, you'll reach like the Little Belt Mountains, and those are like,
There's
you
a
know,
reason why Lewis and Clark
and then if
named
you
it
go
Great
like
Falls.
that way for like an hour, pretty much in every direction, if you drive at least an hour, you'll reach the mountains. But we're not like Missoula and Kalispell and like those places. Those are all really like in the mountains. We're like,
We're on the plains.
we're outside the mountains.
At the end of the foothills.
Yeah, but I mean, we're thankfully like at a point where like I said, you drive 40 minutes to an hour in any direction, you're gonna hit mountains, and those are really, really, really pretty. But yeah, we're in the flat, super windy bit of Montana.
We do want to get like a jacuzzi or something like that. We just don't know exactly what we want to get and what we can get because we live in a place like Montana, so it's got to be able to stand up to all the winter
The
Extreme
wind and
temperatures.
the temperature changes, yeah, because like we can get like negative 40-degree winters out here, and
easy.
like we can get 4 or 5 foot snowbanks. Like the winters here can be brutal. The last couple have kind of not been, you know, but they can get pretty freaking brutal out here, and so that's something we have to like keep in mind for outdoor stuff that we like happen to do. And we also like get really bad winds. Like we can get like 70-80 mile per hour winds on a bad day, and so those are all things that we have to take into account for what we put out, especially because where Lauren and I live, we live like, so Great Falls is kind of in like a bowl, and we live like at the top of the bowl, so we get like all of the wind. So that's all like stuff that we have to.
I don't talk with my mom. She left when the accident happened. She couldn't handle it, still can't. And my sister, she lives in Kalispell, like I said, and we have a really good relationship. I have another sister named Kylie who lives in North Dakota, but she had a kid right about when my accident happened, right? Or before my accident. Or was it after? I don't know if it was after. I think it was after my accident. My sister Kylie, who's my age, there's only a 2-month difference between the two of us. She's my half sister.
I think she had her baby like the same year as your accident.
Oh, well, anyways, she ended up moving to North Dakota with her baby and
her
baby
husband.
daddy because they had, her husband's family lives in North Dakota, and I haven't heard
We
a
haven't
peep
really
from her
heard
since.
Yeah, we haven't heard from her since, but last I saw, she's doing great.
Yeah, she now has 2 kids. She's married, and
Yeah, she's thriving.
She's doing great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my mom, she just freaked out after the accident happened and couldn't understand a lot of things. Still can't. So it's easier to just keep her away from our lives, and that's my decision.
Yeah.
There was a question up here.
Well, there's one about your mom.
Yeah.
So was it after that?
No.
Oh, it was before that?
That's the one he reacted to.
Yeah, well, but then he said there was another, so I thought
Oh.
maybe he saw it while he was talking about like his family.
What's the funny story between you two?
Good funny story.
What's a funny story?
That one
funny
time
story
when you drove
between-
off the bridge.
Hmm.
Funny story.
Well, how we met,
Got
I guess, is
together.
kind of how we got together is kind of a funny story because apparently Lauren had a crush on me
Mhm.
like well before I even knew he existed because he was in my little cousin's class, and when they were in 8th grade and I was a sophomore, I would pick up my little cousin from school all the time, and apparently Lauren would see me pick her up and he had a crush on me, but I didn't know he existed. And then like a couple months before we actually started working together, I was dating his friend's older brother, and I was at a party with that guy that I was dating, and you showed up with his little brother. And when I was dating Trey, you showed up with Jace, and that was the first time I ever like even knew who you were, but I wasn't paying attention because it was just like Trey and Jace drama going on.
Yeah, Jace was my
And
best
then-
friend growing up, like a brother.
Yeah, and then y'all left, and then like 3 months later, I started working at Panda, and I didn't remember you from that night at the party,
Mhm.
and then we started like flirting at Panda, and then you were like, actually, like I've had a crush on you since like I was in 8th grade, and I was like, I didn't. Oh, okay, and then how Lauren and I got together was I was talking to my cousin and her girlfriend at the time, and I was like, I think I'm kind of into Lauren, like, you know, like, and we were all like going to a party that night, and I was like, I think I'm kind of into Lauren, like, I don't know, we've been flirting a lot lately. And apparently that same night he was talking to our other mutual friend and was like, I'm into Savia. And so that night, like a collection of like 4 of our friends kind of like manipulated the situation so that Lauren and I ended up having to leave together to get fucking
Red Solo cups
solo cups and pong balls.
for beer pong.
Yeah, and we ended up like having to leave together because they like orchestrated it so that we'd like get time together alone. And then we like chatted the whole way to my apartment to get stuff, and then the whole way back. And then when we got back, that's when you kissed me for the first time. And then it just snowballed from there.
But I asked her.
He was really. That was probably the funniest part because the whole time we were like kind of doing that awkward flirting, and then we get out of the car to go back into Nate's place, and he's all, well, aren't you gonna kiss me? And I
Not
said,
what I said.
What did you say? I swear you said, aren't you gonna kiss me?
I said, well, do you want to kiss me?
I thought you said,
I
are you going to kiss
Did
me?
not say it.
Because I remember me
expectantly.
being like, I remember me saying something like, you're the one who's got to make the first move or something like that. But we were really awkward about it at first because like, you know how it is when you first start crushing on someone, you're super awkward with the situation. But then that's when we had our first kiss, and then it just snowballed from there. And like, we got really serious really quickly, honestly. We moved in together like 3 months into our relationship, which like was like for financial reasons, but it was still like cool, you know, now we get to see each other all the time. And yeah, we've been together ever since.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was funny because like we didn't find out until like later that like that night where I was talking to my cousin and her girlfriend, and I was like, I'm kind of into Lauren, and then they were like pushing me towards him that night, was the same night he was telling our other friend like, I think I want to make a move on Savia. So like it was just funny that like we were having those conversations at the same time, and then ended up like getting together that night.
Me and my buddy went running that day, and we got stuck in the rain. And by the time we came back, Savia, Fiona, and Mercy were there. And I tried changing my shirt, and Savia just happened to peer around the corner and just checked me out.
Flashed with abs. Actually, I think that was the deciding factor for me. Lauren and I had been flirting a little bit, and then I went to peek around the corner to ask Nate like something, and Lauren was coming out like shirt halfway off, and like homie had freaking an 8-pack, and I was like, and he's covered in rain, you know? And I was like, damn, okay. And then that night I was like, you know, kind of into that guy. And yeah.
Yeah.
But I always think that's funny that like Lauren knew who I was well before then, and like our paths had even crossed like without me really realizing it. And then
Yeah, I knew Savia ever since elementary school, and she just never knew or met me before.
yeah.
Dad bods all the way.
Yeah, I'm not very picky.
obviously she's still with me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really picky on bodies, because like at that point Lauren and I had been flirting a lot, and so just I think just like saying his body in general, my brain was just like, we want to see more of that.
And all that too.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys hit the like button on the live video for us, though, please, if you would. It helps with the algorithm for our other YouTube content moving forward.
Hello to Kenya.
There was a comment on a previous video of someone stating that they can't stand our schedule of how we will be here one Sunday, gone the next. We'll promise one thing, do a different thing, and what I gotta say to that is, life happens. Shit happens. Excuse my language.
We can't always.
There's. It's not that we can't always post. It's just there isn't anything to post. It's been 10 months of me stuck bedbound. Sabia stuck on the couch reading books because she's my caregiver 24/7.
Or like what caused this was we expected a video because we expected this surgery last month, and then we had no control over the fact that the surgery had to get rescheduled, you know. So
yeah, because I came down with it.
You get what you get.
Yeah, you get what you get, and most of you really are so understanding about it. You understand that life happens and all of that, but we just wanted to make like a tiny little statement, like, you know, we're sorry if it upsets you, but there's not really nothing we can do about that.
But if we do post, it will be on Sundays. If we go
live,
live,
we let you know otherwise.
It will be on Sundays, unless we let you know otherwise. Unless I'm going off on my own and deciding to go live or something like that.
Yeah, we'll let you know if it's not going to be a Sunday. But as we've stated in the past, it's never going to be guaranteed all the time, and if for whatever reason we planned one and it's not going to happen, we let you know ahead of time. Or if it's going to be on a different day than a Sunday, we let you know ahead of time. So as long as you guys that like really are like constantly watching us and stuff like that, keep up with like our Facebook page or our YouTube community page, you'll never miss a video, and you'll always get an explanation on if a video is not going to happen that was supposed to happen. So, but yeah, such is life, you know?
But I wouldn't want to watch a 30-minute video of somebody
just
saying
there.
They did the same exact thing as they did last week and say, I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And with Lauren being bedbound for almost a year, there really was just nothing we could give you guys, you know? You plan to do an upload, then wham, weather happens, Lauren has to go to the hospital, etc. Yeah, it does get frustrating for us too, you know, especially because, like, to an extent, a lot of things, like, we do have to plan ahead for it. We have to be like, okay, we have to, like, hope that Lauren's going to be fine on this day that we want to film, and we have to hope, you know, that just things go well. And so when things do, because we don't like having to be like, hey, I know we said a video would come out this day, but now it's not. Like, we don't like having to do that. And, you know, it does get stressful when we have to cancel those, because, like, we do like to follow through. And so, like, if we can't follow through, like, we're not doing it to piss you guys off, you know? And we know that most of you understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just kind of rubbed us the wrong way when we read that comment, so.
Well, no, and I just wanted to address that.
Yeah.
It's something good to address. There was some comment about something. Oh yeah, so my computer, once I get my computer, it will be like custom designed to be one piece. There will be a little one piece boat inside the gaming system and everything, inside the computer and whatnot. One Piece is an anime. It's my favorite anime. In fact, I have all the wanted posters for all the characters, and I'm gonna get them framed and put up in my room. And with the One Piece computer, it'll look great, since my room's red and wood
and
black.
yeah.
So far, it'll look great together. And so, yeah.
How do you deal with your psychology? I had a bad motorcycle crash last year. I'm sorry to hear that. Any tips you can give me, Lauren? I think it all comes down to the fact that everyone handles everything very differently. The one thing, I know you didn't ask me, But the one thing I will always advocate for is therapy, because like I said earlier, everyone handles mental illnesses and traumas differently, and I think it's very important to find a therapist that understands you and how your brain works, so that they can find what works best for you, because what might work for Lauren or what might work for me might not work for someone else. And so I will always, for those situations and those types of like advice, I'll always just recommend to find a therapist that works best for you, because they will have the best answer on how to navigate that for yourself. I think that's the most like important thing you could do is therapy. I will always advocate for therapy, counseling, psychologist, you know.
I've tried therapy twice, but I just didn't connect with my therapist.
Yeah, and that's why it really matters to find one that works for you. Like, we're still actively trying to find one that works for Lauren, you know? I had one that worked really well for me, and then she retired. Loved her so much.
She gave you a bunch of suggestions, though.
Yeah, I'm just not good with change, so it's a process to get with the new one. But my therapist was really awesome she understands that I'm really bad with change, and so, like, she said when I'm ready to start with the new therapist, she'll help me transition, and I can even do, like, a joint thing with them in the beginning to help me, like, make the change better. And which is why, like, again, it's so important to find one that understands you, because, like, she retired, but she's still willing. She understands how much change stresses me out, so she's willing to go that extra step for me to help me transition to a new therapist, which is why it's so important to find one that you really can trust.
And this is therapy too for you guys, this channel.
Just getting to talk about what we go through and everything.
Yeah, like I said earlier, once I've talked about something that bothers me or whatever, it's off my chest and out of my head. I don't stew on things.
I think you could be a very good therapist. There was a time where I really wanted to be a therapist or like a counselor of that sort, because, you know, I found that most times people who understand trauma the most are ones who have been through it themselves. But I don't think I could, knowing my trauma and knowing my own mental health, I don't think I would be able to handle.
I think you'd bring it home too much.
I think I would bring it home with me too much, and it would sit too much with me. I don't think I have the mental capacity to be that person for other people. I would love to be able to help people like that, but knowing myself and knowing like my empathy and all the things I already struggle with, it would be too much for me mentally to take that role on for other people.
Have I ever tried fingerboarding? Years ago.
What is fingerboarding?
When I had legs still, it's where you take little skateboards.
Oh yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah.
Like the tech decks. Oh,
yeah.
I've been reading too much smut lately. My brain got so scared.
Yeah.
Anyway. Listen, I've been heavy on the romances lately, and these days it's really hard to find a romance that doesn't have some type of dirty in it. Okay, so there's been quite a bit of dirty in my books, and so I saw fingerboarding, and my brain went, oh, this is some obscure term I haven't heard yet, and I panicked for a moment when it was said out loud. So, but tech decks, you were talking about tech decks.
I think we're gonna wrap it up though.
Yeah.
Since we've been on for almost an hour and a half now, hour 25 minutes.
Yeah, I think we've mostly covered
everything.
We've covered quite a bit today, honestly.
Yeah, and we covered what's gonna be going on. And we will take a video of before surgery
and
recovery afterwards.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you.
Hold on, we have not gone to Harry Potter World yet. That'll be on video once we do that. That's still our honeymoon anniversary. That's still our goal.
Yeah.
Let's make the Harry Potter world.
But yeah, but thank you guys all for tuning in, and thank you for, I think we only had one crappy person in the comments. The rest of you were super respectful today, and the conversation was really awesome.
Right.
Sometimes it's rare that we get that good flow on these lives, so honestly this was a really refreshing one. So thank you guys for just like being so cool today.
And thank you for all the donations
Yes,
and likes on
lots
the
of
video.
donations, lots of likes, lots of shares. Another reminder for those of you who don't know, if you ever want to keep up with us outside of our videos or our lives, we do post almost every Sunday on our Facebook channel, which is Sabi and Lauren Real Account, as well as in our YouTube community page, and that's where you can find like if we're going to be having a video coming out, if we have to postpone a video, and just kind of what's going on with us in between the scenes. So you're always welcome to go follow those and check up on them.
And if you guys feel like sharing a video of ours to get out to your family and friends on Facebook or Instagram, you
always
should
feel
share
free
the
to.
Lauren doing things independently video. We've found that helps people understand
The extent of
my
your
situation
condition.
the best.
Yeah.
So be sure to share that video if you're gonna let family and friends know about this crazy hemicorporectomy that
That's
you just
definitely
came
the
across.
one that helps people understand Lauren's condition the best. But yeah, so we'll see you guys soon
When we
after surgery.
Yep.
And yeah, we love you guys.
and hopefully the kidney stones will be gone. I'll be up and we'll be traveling around in no time.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Okay.
Knock on
Have a
wood.
good one.
Bye.